Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. It is our Raw Materials Intention Week. I am Tavish Carduff, here to talk about the emotions that go into our intentions and the things that we want. There is so much to want that sometimes we miss realizing how vast that set of things is. And we really miss the main point, which is we can't possibly do everything that we want to do. I have a friend who constantly second guesses herself on what she's doing. And let's say we get through a weekend and she has enjoyed the weekend, jam-packed, done tons of things. And then she gets to Sunday night and looks back at the things that she didn't do and finds herself upset. She's looking at the unmet intentions and being bothered by them. All of a sudden, all of the things that she did have no value and no meaning anymore because she's looking at the set of intentions that went undone. I think the trick with intention, because our intentions are driven by our emotions, the things that we want, is just recognizing that fact. When we find ourselves wanting multiple things, and especially, let's say we just don't have enough time or we don't have the right kind of training, there are endless possibilities of what type of work you could do. You know, there's all kinds of aptitude tests where you can narrow it down to decide what you like, but the reality is you're going to try a bunch of things, and there are going to be several things that you think you might want to try that you don't get to try. Me personally, as a kid, I always had the intention of becoming an attorney, and I have worked with many of them. I can see now why that wasn't an intention that the universe offered me the resources to fulfill, because I don't think it would have been good for me. However, that is the thing that when I was younger, I really thought I wanted to do. And it's funny because I didn't even graduate college, so let alone any postgraduate work. It's interesting the way that so many of the things that we want don't come true for us, and it's only later that we realize how those choices actually served us well. And the things that we didn't get to do mean something in our lives, just like the things that we did do. Now, regrets. This, of course, comes from emotion. When we regret not trying something, not doing something that we really, really wanted to do, then we get into a gray area with whether we've aligned with intentions that we're passionate about. But that's not what Intention Week's about. Intention Week is really about identifying the vast amount of things that we could possibly do. Let's say you wake up on a Saturday morning. There are so many choices of what you could do, and there are so many things that would be fun. A lot of people find themselves, in lieu of making choices, sitting and doing nothing. And we've all been there, we've all done that. When we do, we don't usually feel good about it. And that's really the key to what to look for. You know, how are your emotions reacting to your choices of how you spend your time or what you do? Now, sitting around on the couch all day or watching TV or you know, just something that might be viewed as wasting time is actually a valuable thing if we've set aside time for it, if we love it, if it's something we planned for and wanted to do, or if we're, you know, not feeling well and it's nice to just take a day of downtime. But if we find ourselves doing that in the space where we could be doing things that we actually enjoy doing, then we start seeing ourselves needing a little bit of an emotional check. We might not be meeting our emotional intentions, and that generally keeps us from meeting the intentions or obligations that we have in our life. When I think about all of the things that I have wanted in my life, it's a really long list. And when I look at all of the things that I've done and gotten to do, also a really long list. And I am incredibly happy with the experiences that I have had. There are some that maybe I wish, you know, in the ideal space, in the ideal playground, I wish I had done them. But I can just as easily imagine those things as have done them. And when I look at what space I would have given up to do those things, that's when we start seeing the magic of what we actually have and have experienced being perfect. I say this all the time, but I do believe the world is perfect exactly as it is. And I know that I get a lot of backlash for saying it. I'm still going to say it, and I still believe it, because I think that we each have our own thoughts and opinions about the way things go, or the way they should go. But the reality is that's based on us, and that's based on our experience. So what the universe gives us, what the universe offers us, that's where the real is. And I like to look at that space above the things that I want, because I know that that is where the things that I want will line up more truly to my passion and purpose. And I think when we're dealing with intention, we're starting that last 4 weeks where we're looking at, all of the things that we want, how we're going to line up the resources to get them, what we're truly going to align with, and then, bringing that all into our own personal wholeness. So starting intention week is always good to start with checking your emotions around the things that you have done and the things that you've left undone, and kind of giving yourself a break, letting yourself off the hook for some of those undone things, ones that are pressing and really need to be done. Kick yourself in the ass and get them done. Intention week has the energy of follow through if we pay attention to what actually needs to happen. The other aspect of intention week is the intentions that we hold for others. This is one of my favorite places to talk to energy clients about, because we do so much deciding what other people should do or should have done, or what is normal, or what somebody, basically putting our own thoughts and ideas into someone else's choices and behaviors. And I like to flip that around and really look at what capacity do we have to truly know what's right for another person. And, I'm used to arguing about this. It's interesting to have these types of discussions and watch people drop their judgment, drop their expectations, and really start to lean in the things that they are passionate about. Really start looking at, oh wow, I did do a lot of cool things, even though I left this set over here undone. And when we really start picking apart our time and all of the things that we want to do, and realize we accomplish a lot without the time to do everything, that makes it a little easier to appreciate and accept what we do get to do and the value of our time. I think that Intention Week, along with Values and Ideals Week, gives us a really great sense of how valuable time really is. And obviously, the older we get, the more we look at it differently. But I can remember as a kid spending a day in bed and realizing, like, man, I should just at least go outside and get some sun. We had a pool. I could go lay on a raft in the pool, and just not mustering up the energy and knowing I would miss that time at some point. And that's a recall. I still have it. And whenever I think about wasting time anywhere, I remember those kinds of moments. I trade off not wanting to just walk down the stairs and throw a swimsuit on, which probably would have felt really good. So sometimes when we think past what we don't want to do into what it'll feel like once we've done it, we really start to feel differently about the things that we intend, and we start to be a little more conscious with our intentional choices. Knowing you can't do it all lets you become a lot less judgmental towards yourself and towards other people. Speaking of not being able to do it all, I got a haircut this morning. Usually I come home and wash it because for some reason they feel the need to blow out my hair and make it straight for me, even though I never wear it that way. But if I were to take a shower and let my hair dry, I wouldn't have time to do the other things that I would like to do today. So for today, you're getting me in my not normal look. I'm not against it, but it's not what I intended, and it's not what I normally do. But I'm going to share this part with everybody because sometimes we have to make trade-offs on the things that we want, or trade-offs with our time, so that we can make a day turn out the best for us emotionally. If there's anything to remember, it's that our intentions are tied to our emotions. And the ones that really mean something are the ones that are going to show up in front of us with the resources to make them happen and the passion and desire that we put into things that we want to happen. Thank you for your interest and participation. I am Tavish Carduff. I will be back next week to talk about resources as we look to the spiritual aspects of lining up all of the help that we need to make our intentions actually align and happen. Thank you. See you next week.